Yeah, so the motion was transmitted in both official languages, so that was never an issue. So you got it in English and you got it in French, and it was read very slowly, and we had the highest standard of professional simultaneous translation happen for the benefit of all members of the committee, and so there's no need for that. What I guess my challenge would be, Chair, to members opposite, would be to furnish the committee with amendments they had prepared for the motion that was on notice, which is not that different from the one that we have today. But what I suspect that we would find is many of the amendments that we're going to see today have been written since we were in the room, as would have been the case had I moved the motion that was on notice. So this isn't a question of making sure that things are given in both official languages. What I would be amenable to after that 20-minute pause is to be able to see all of the amendments that are going to be proposed. Because if this is just an exercise in running down the clock, well, then we're not going to support any of the amendments. But if we have a couple good faith amendments, we want to have a discussion where necessary about it. But if we're just going to pull on every lever to slow things down as much as we can, then we're not going to support the amendments. They can move them. We'll vote against them. We won't speak to them. But if we're truly looking to improve on this, let's do that. But I don't think it's helpful to say, well, this is happening because we didn't get it in advance. First of all, when committee business is before the committee, it's a matter's absolute right to not provide the motion in writing. The committee is not entitled to that. But it was provided in writing in both official languages. And so this is what happens. Amendments can be made matter at hand. You can move an amendment without furnishing the committee with it in writing. I very much understood the intent of Ms. Church's motion, or excuse me, of her amendment, with the exception of whether or not it was replacing or supplementing point 4. That wasn't said, but once that simply was said, it was crystal clear, and I did not have it in front of me either. My colleague, who speaks French as a first language, heard the motion read in English and was able, he tells me, to understand Ms. Church's intent as well. And so that's how we're able to do this with the services that are being provided to us. So what looks like delay for the sake of delay, please prove me wrong, and let's see, like, I would ask through you, Chair, members opposite, how many amendments that they're going to ask us to consider. And that was the request from Mr. Theriault, was let's see all of the amendments. And they had 20 minutes to furnish you with all of them. And let's just understand what we're dealing with, because do we need to make a request for additional resources? I don't think there's a lot of committee sitting tonight, so let's figure that out.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Barrett. I think I made my point very clear as well, that if there are any amendments, that they be sent to the clerk so that she could dispose of them very, very quickly and send them back to members of the committee. If need be, members of the committee can talk while that work is being done. I appreciate the point that Mr. Theriault made and others, that you might want to have it in writing, but we do have the services that provide simultaneous interpretation, especially on, and I wouldn't consider Ms. Church's amendment to be that complicated. It was easy to understand. And so we're going to proceed on that basis. Monsieur Theriault, je vois ta main, mais Monsieur.
I see that your hand is raised, but Mr. Sari is the next on the list, and then it will be you, Monsieur Theriault. Thank you, Chair. On the amendment. Yes, on the amendment. But we're saying the same thing. Mr. Saini wanted to add another amendment, but we don't know how to do that. We're not trying to slow things down. We want to understand. I don't agree to say we understand the meeting. No. The wording is important. Each word is relevant. And I think that the French translation could sometimes be problematic. In the motion that was shared with us, Mr. Theriault raised a translation issue. That's why I would like to ask you, should we send you all of the amendments right now because we have more? Or as you said to Mr. Saini, wait until we're done with this amendment and then we'll move on to a next amendment. That is my question, Chair. I'm going to respond to your question.
We deal with one amendment at a time. If he wanted to move a sub-amendment to the amendment, that's possible.
Oh, okay.
But that's not what he indicated to me. So that was why I intervened and gave him the procedural correct answer. Okay, so that's why. Okay, so we're on the amendment right now.